going on, good people? What is going on? It is another week, another episode of Just a Fan podcast where you got a bunch of, just us guys as fans that know a lot about football, basically. Um, as you already know, I'm Tristan, the guy with the big mouth that likes to talk a lot. Over on my left, right here, the man, the myth, the legend, as we say, Steve. Say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on, yo? I don't know about all that.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. Out of everybody on this podcast right now, Steve is the only one that has professional credibility. Okay, so this is why we call him the man, myth, and legend. And then over to my left, your right, as you guys are looking at it, is the
Amateur.
NFL. No. The NFL encyclopedia himself, Brandon
Facts.
Williams. What's going on,
Facts.
Brandon?
What's up, y'all? I'm
Facts.
I'm not an encyclopedia, but thank you though.
Listen,
I,
don't lie to the people,
yeah,
Brandon. There
I
isn't
get
a
mad.
fact. Go ahead, Steve. Yeah, go ahead.
I get mad sometimes during the day when I have a question, football question about something that happened.
Listen,
I can't reach Brandon because he's working.
exactly. Listen, throughout my years, there ain't too many people that know more facts than I do until I met Brandon, and I was just like, well, I've met my nemesis.
Well, I mean, you guys can text me.
Hey, listen. If I gotta debate somebody and I don't know something, I will definitely text you and be like, Brandon, I need some a resource. I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about. But let's not delay. You guys go ahead and get started. Steve, you can start it off. I'm going to dip out for a second because the most important job I have is that of being a father. So I need to go check on my baby girl real quick, and then I'll be right back in a second. But Steve, you can go ahead and get it pumping.
Handle your business. Brandon, no, you said you want to start, Brandon. What's on your mind, man? What's going on?
Well, I can't. Well, since he dipped out, the topic that I want to talk about, I can't do without him. So let's go somewhere else.
Okay. Ooh, Ravens Steelers. Oh
Hmm.
man, Ravens. Ooh, I know. Ooh, the rivalry is ridiculous. First of all, that rivalry right there, man.
That rivalry goes back to the Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed days, man. Black and blue division.
Man, so what are your thoughts on the game, man?
Well, the thoughts is always at the end of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy around that call.
Well, look. Let me put it this way: if the 2 point conversion was successful, it wouldn't be no controversy. It's always controversy when 2 point conversions are not successful, and no one says anything when it is successful. So, um, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it is what it is. If I was Baltimore, I still would have made that call because you want to win. You want to beat Pittsburgh, and you are so very, very competitive.
Yeah,
You don't want to risk that going to overtime to say, oh shoot, we lost in overtime. No, we want to win in the fourth quarter. Let's do this.
yeah.
Let's get it done. Let's get it over with.
I mean, the rivalry's crazy. It was an ego thing, and I get it. I mean, you want to say it's like a middle finger if you can just middle finger to him if you can convert the 2 point conversion. Personally, I'm gonna side with the folks that thought they should have kicked it into overtime. I mean, you can't leave points from the board, and that's my personal opinion. I mean, I get taking the risk, and yes, it paid off big time if they would have got it. But I'm going to overtime, man. I'm going to overtime. I'm going to reset and rely on my defense if the defense doesn't receive the ball. I mean, if the Ravens didn't receive the ball first. But something we'll never know, you
But let
know?
me but let me ask you a question. Isn't this the game that Marlon Humphrey goes down to injury?
Yeah.
Because now if you go to overtime, no Marlon Humphrey, no Marcus Peters. I mean, that's kind of pushing it without your top two best corners.
I get that, but the Steelers haven't played particularly well in overtime
And that is true
this
because
year.
they looked terrible against Detroit. They didn't want to win that game.
Detroit had about 3 chances to win an overtime game.
Yes, they
Time
did.
expired. It ended in a tie. If I'm in Baltimore, I'm thinking about that struggle, and I'm relying on my kicker, man. One, of course, to get the extra point, which Justin Tucker will get. And who knows? Ravens could have got the ball first in overtime, could have drove down, could have kicked it, or scored a touchdown.
Yeah, but
So
it's not sudden death overtime. So if you kick a field goal, Pittsburgh still gets the ball back. And if they score a touchdown, then you lose. So
right. I mean, unless Pittsburgh gets the ball first and Baltimore gets a stop, but I guess we'll never know. Um, Yeah, that division, man, is getting a little tight.
Yeah, it
That
is.
division's getting a little tight.
Yeah, because Cincinnati's going up and down like crazy. They they win one week, they lose next week, and it's like, which Cincinnati Bengals team are you going to get? But I mean, again, but that's the youth in them. That's the young head coach, and
Yeah,
I
facts,
really, really want to see them grow. And
facts.
so I think next year their growth is critical. If they don't grow, then I don't know about Zach Taylor as a head coach.
Yeah, yeah. So let's stick with Detroit, man. They got the first win. They got the first win.
With Jared Goff at quarterback.
Hey, look, man. You know they've been playing all of their opponents extremely close, extremely tough all season. I knew they weren't going to go winless.
Same here.
I said to myself, I said, if there's a team they could beat, one I thought would be the Bears on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I said they can win that game.
They were close to beating Baltimore, except for that 66-yard field goal.
Oh yeah, they're close to beating a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
I said, or they can win at home against the Vikings because Kirk Cousins he's known to not close out. I said this could be a game that they could win. I actually picked them in my pool, and they won.
Well, look, Jared Goff threw a game-winning touchdown pass on our former safety Xavier Woods, who claims last year that he doesn't play hard every game. Well, you don't play hard every play during the game, you got scored on. Congratulations.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah. He's been trying to show out in Minnesota. I'm like, dang, where was this guy when we had him? Mm-hmm. But happy for Detroit. Happy for
definitely
Detroit Lions fans, Nathan and others, and happy for Dan Campbell for sure, man.
Oh yeah, Dan Campbell, our former tight end that was hard on Jason Witten his rookie season.
Speaking of us, Cowboys Saints last Thursday, man. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, man. I was a little nervous going into the game. Now I get the Saints had all those injuries and this is that and that, man. But I didn't know what version of Dallas was going to show up, to be completely honest.
And that's the thing now.
I didn't know.
These last 5 games, you don't know which Dallas Cowboys team you're going to get. Are you getting Dallas versus the Chargers or Eagles? Right. Or are you getting Dallas against the Chiefs or the Broncos?
Man, or the Raiders, man. All the nightmares. Nightmares, man. Ever since, like I keep saying, I say it every week, man. Ever since that Detroit game, I'm like, we are capable of really blowing it. Saints still play tough, man. I mean,
they did.
It took us a while to adjust. I think it was in the 4th when Taysom Hill just started hiking the ball and just started rolling out, man. But I mean, he gave us the ball. He gave us the ball 4 times.
Yeah, but we didn't get a lot of points off of that, which is sad because off those 4 interceptions, okay, we got a pick 6, fine, but we should have gotten at least 24 points. I say, and I'm a touchdown guy, so really 28. But I'm trying to be nice, saying 3 touchdowns and field goal.
No, you're right. You're right.
And so I just don't know about us. These last 5 games, Dallas really gonna have to play hard. I think if Dallas outscored their opponents, because there's not too many teams they play that have a quarterback and keep up with us. So,
yeah, I think, and I said it. It's like we've kind of been getting a little worse by the week, man. I mean, and I'm not gonna say it was defense. Dak has not been playing well, man. Dak has not been playing well. I hear people saying Zeke's hurt. Zeke's playing hurt. Well, he don't need to touch the football, man. Because without the home run hitting ability from Tony Pollard, man, I don't know what our offense is looking like in the run game, man.
No, well, that's because some of our offensive line just not doing a good job of blocking. Connor Williams been called for holding so much this year.
Yeah,
and then hold on, and then they put in Connor McGovern. I mean, he's strong, but he's not a second level guard. And so Connor Williams is a second level guard, but he struggles with power. Connor McGovern don't struggle with power, but he can't get to the second level. So it's tough.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that, man. But I mean, Zeke, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's hurt or whatever the case may be, but he's not playing well, man. He's not hitting the gaps fast enough. He still has his power, but if I'm Dallas, man, I'm not giving him the ball, man. I'm not giving him the ball, wasting downs. You know.
Yeah. Well, plus he said, I mean, his knee was bothering him too. So hopefully it's better with this 10-day rest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if, Dallas did sign some running back today named Edo Smith. I don't know anything about him, but because Tony Pollard's not 100% either, so it sounds like Edo going to get some kind of carries.
I know.
He's coming up from Atlanta. He was under
Yeah, yeah,
he was under Dan Quinn since 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I know the name Edo Smith. That's right. That's right. Um,
Oh shoot, Vance in the building.
we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We're fairly healthy.
Yeah,
We get Randy Gregory back when
Sunday, and
Sunday.
and we get Nelva Gallimore.
So we're about to be the healthiest we've been all season. Everybody, for the
Yes,
most part, is playing. All the starters.
yep.
Uh,
All the original starters who's supposed to be starting since training camp.
exactly, exactly. So, shoot, man. We'll see. No excuses now, man. We'll
I
see.
know.
We'll see. You know what this offense is looking like. That's the problem, in my opinion. Tristan, what do you think? Talking
First,
Cowboys fans.
first of all, I want to apologize to our viewers that left you all to listen to the chatter of the cowgirls here on this
Disrespectful.
good show for like the
Disrespect.
past, what is this, 11 minutes and now 40 seconds of this show. I apologize. I
Mm.
apologize for leaving you out the hands of these guys
You're
with these Cowboys.
disrespectful.
You know what?
Um,
Steve. You know what? Steve, I'm about to get on him in a couple minutes anyway.
I greatly apologize. I'm back now, so we're gonna remedy this. But no, in all seriousness, in regards to the Cowboys situation, so the last I guess you could say fair to say like the last month hasn't been the strongest showing for you guys. Part of that being injury, part of that being just execution on the field, kind of like that sense of urgency you would
Yeah.
like to see them have, especially closing out to the rest of the season. But I mean, you guys are healthy coming in to this game.
Right.
We thought we were going to have Montez Sweat, but then he caught COVID, so now we got to, and because he's not vaccinated, he's gone for 10 days. So we got to now
Mm.
deal with that still, and this probably be the legitimate litmus test of what Washington is doing, because you're going to go against a fully loaded Cowboys team. So the defense that has improved with the last month, you're going to be tested. You get all the horses on the offensive side of the ball, and like I said, Dan Quinn's been coaching himself into potentially another head coaching position. So, we got to look at all these things. I mean, right now it's a feel good story. Y'all know me. Y'all know how I am. I'm a Washington fan, but I'm a realist when it comes to these things. I only go by what I see, not necessarily my emotions. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, I'm going to say, oh yeah, we're going to beat the brakes off y'all. That's just me being a fan. But in reality, could we lose? Yeah, very much so a possibility, because you are getting Randy Gregory back. So, and you saw the performance that Demarcus Lawrence has. Now with Randy Gregory coming back, now you kind of get to unleash Michael Parsons even more all over the field. So, I look at those things like, man, this is gonna we're gonna face a Dallas defense that honestly people haven't had to see in the last 2 months. That's just
And
when you really
and,
think about it.
and Tristan's telling the truth because from what I understand, Demarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, and Michael Parsons only been on the field together for 28 snaps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Look, the defense. He said, "Could we lose?" Yes, you could lose. Uh, you should lose. But again, I don't. This offense, man. It doesn't matter, how well a defense plays, man. If our offense can't get it going.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. And let me, and I want to make sure for all that's watching, I want to make sure I'm very very clear about something. Just because Washington's defense has looked good over the last month does not mean that they are better without Montez Sweat or Chase Young. I want to be perfectly clear about that. The reason why it seems that that's the case is because Jack Del Rio is no longer saying, "Oh, I'm just going to rely on my two bookends to get to the quarterback, and we're just going to play base defensive packages." He's like, "Okay, I don't have my horses on the edge, so now I actually got to scheme my defense to create pressure." I've wanted Jack Del Rio to do that with them on the field. Like, so that's the difference that we're going with here. So I'm like, Jack, if you do it with them on the field, we got a top 10, potentially top 5 defense. So I want to make sure that that is very, very clear for people to understand that it's not saying that we're fine, we're better without them. It's that Jack now doesn't have to think so much of I got a second overall pick here, I got another first rounder on this side, I got first rounders all up and down this line. I'm gonna just send my line and just do no. We're now going to run blitz packages. We're gonna send the slot corner in the blitz. We're gonna send the linebackers on the blitz. We're gonna do the things even with the rookie Jamin Davis. You know, I've seen him on more blitzes and stuff. I'm like, that's what you got to get him to do until he learns how to play that position in a professional standpoint where he fully understands it. Let him play to his strengths, play to what he knows, what he's comfortable with. You know, so that's what we're looking at right now. But again, when I look at the offense, you know, I think y'all offensive line is is going to start coming back together.
It needs to.
I mean, you know, I heard y'all saying you're complaining about Zeke, but I mean, y'all still got Pollard. You know, Pollard's doing just fine
Thank God.
with what y'all need. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, Dak's not gonna have too many of these inconsistent games. I think I have a little more faith in Dak with what he's doing. Plus, having all his receivers will definitely help. So it's gonna be a real test. Would I love to win? Absolutely. Do I expect it? Not really, because I expect for y'all to win the division. So for me, I'm looking like, okay, if we can beat everybody else and maybe split y'all, that would be cool. But I'm not looking at it to be like a total dominance. And I know for Washington fans, they're going to listen to this or hear this, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're not a real fan." I actually am, because I'm realistic about about the expectations of this team. So
It's a big game, man. It's a huge game.
It really
it's
is.
a
I
huge
It really
game.
is.
mean, Dallas has not run away with the division yet, man.
Right,
And the way we've been playing these past few weeks is as if we already clinched the first round bye or something. Like,
right.
this is a big game because if Dallas loses this game, we'll be able to game apart.
Yep, one game
Yep,
apart.
one game apart.
Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. If Dallas struggles these last 5 games, if they look bad these last 5 games, is Mike McCarthy our head coach next year?
No,
Ooh, good question.
I agree.
no, you already knew what my answer was
I
gonna
agree.
be, man. Absolutely not. There's no way you start the way you started, and I get injuries, whatever. Uh, every team's injured in some sort of way. And now, granted, our schedule was fairly easy in the beginning of the season, but the issue I have it with Mike McCarthy, which is the head coach's job, is the preparation, man. Is the preparation and the accountability and the want to do better. Stop blaming the refs. You know, uh, just say you got outplayed. Change the culture in the locker room that next week. There's no way now. I mean, the AFC West is good, but there's no way that they pretty much swept us with the exception of the Chargers
The
win.
Chargers, yeah.
You know,
And and McCarthy almost cost y'all that.
exactly,
You know.
exactly.
So, I agree with you. And I see Lucina, I hope I'm saying your name correct.
Sign up, yeah.
Lucina, okay, Lucina
Uh,
Branch, saying McCarthy is on thin ice. Yeah, I fully agree. I think
yeah.
when you look at the team that it is, that you guys got, on paper, aside from the injury, the injury bug that hit y'all this season, I mean, yeah, y'all have no reason to not be one of the top 2, 3 teams in the NFC, let alone arguably in the league. I mean,
Listen,
just with the talent that's there, honestly.
listen.
Exactly.
McCarthy's supposed to be this offensive guy
The
who took a
offensive
year off
guru. Yep.
from coaching and
Yep.
had his lab and his coaches, and all this, that, and that. Man, there's no way that. And now his first strike, it's actually I want to say 1.5, was bringing in Mike Nolan last year. So the Dak injury kind of gave him some grace, whatever the case may be.
Because he really could have
But
been fired up. He really could have been fired
exactly.
after that.
And it wasn't like we were doing too hot with Dak healthy last year. Let me remind folks about that as well.
Yep, you guys were what
Um,
y'all were 1-4 before you went down.
Something like that. Um, and so, but there's no way, um, there's no way that you get all these turnovers uh during the game, man, and you're not putting up the points. I mean, the yards, whatever the case may be, you get a lot of yards, but we need points, man. We need points.
Oh, definitely need points, touchdowns. I'm a touchdown guy.
Yeah, we need points. And so also my last point with Dallas. Um, Let me ask you, Brandon.
Okay.
Explain. I just want your thoughts. I don't really have a strong opinion per se. Uh, Explain your thoughts on Dan Quinn um, being interim head coach versus Kellen Moore. Besides experience,
So, I mean, he became interim coach for that one game because McCarthy had COVID. But now the defense got 4 interceptions. Now that's against a terrible quarterback. Um, to me, right now, it's not. I mean, it's a too much of a small sample size for me to really say too much on it. I would need more than
yeah,
what I saw.
yeah. So, like in my opinion, before we move on to the next topic, offense has been struggling. That's been a reflection, like it or not, on Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
so, no, but not just him though. It's also the offensive line been struggling.
that's true. That's true. But again, I mean, and I mind you, the offense puts up a lot of yards, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I feel like that decision was kind of like maybe he may not be quite ready, or maybe they want him to just focus on getting the offense to play better instead of having to be the head coach. That's my opinion.
I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. Um, I want to go forward and talk about another squad. One, because I don't like talking about your Cowboys. Um, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. But no, serious, on a serious note. On a serious note.
Cheap shot.
On a serious note. Wait. Let's man. Can we talk about this game that we just saw between the Bills and the Patriots? Man.
Hey, look. The New England Patriots played old school throwback 1935 football, man. Okay, they played Packers power sweep under Vince Lombardi. I'm gonna run Packer power sweep left, Packer power sweep right, and call it a day. 3 passes attempted by Mac Jones all game. That's it. I mean, and Buffalo Bills had no answer for that. And I'm saying, Sean McDermott, you're a defensive minded guy. What are you doing? You go into halftime with some kind of a game plan and say, look, they have everybody pretty much in the box, okay? Because you have 5 offensive linemen, then you had a 6 offensive lineman as a tight end, then you had a tight end also for complete unbalanced formation. So that's 7. Quarterback is 8, the fullback is 9, the running back is 10, and then the wide receiver, N'Keal Harry, is like pretty much in the box. So all 11 players in the box. What is you doing with your defense? Run the old school Bear 46 front from the monsters of the midway, and get everybody lined up and let's go. That's old school playoff football. I don't know. I don't know about Sean McDermott, man.
Man, I never thought I would see a game like this. Like you see,
Right.
you watch like NFL films and all that stuff, and they talk about these games from back in like you said, 30s and 40s, some in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like if you threw for like 2,000 yards, you were like almost guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame. Like it was one of those kind of
Right.
situations. Mac Jones was 2 of 3 for 19 yards and won. Like it's crazy. And really, what it boils down to, quite honestly, is just the simple fact that Bill Belichick is making his case for being the reason why the Patriots have been as successful as they've been. Like he's like like yeah, y'all talking about Tom Brady, but hey, look what I can do. We're looking at the Patriots were what 7-9 last year. They were 7-9 last year, and
What did the 84 right?
yeah, yeah, and uh, they draft the QB that everybody was dogging out, and they're 9-4. Like that's what we're looking at right now. They're nine and
Yeah.
four with a rookie QB. Literally has the blueprint on how to develop rookie quarterbacks. It literally is the blueprint. If you really
Tristan,
think about it, between how they developed Tom Brady 20 plus years ago and how they're currently developing Mac Jones. And I'm not calling Mac Jones Tom Brady. I've said this off here before. I'm not calling him Tom Brady. But if I had to make a comparison, you know how people look at Michael Jordan as being like the GOAT, right? Everyone says Michael Jordan is the GOAT of the
Mhm.
NBA. But people say if you had to pick somebody that was a close carbon copy of Michael Jordan, who's the person you think of?
Kobe.
Exactly. I think that Mac Jones right now is the Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan's Tom Brady. I really do. I'm not saying he's going to win a bunch of Super Bowls.
I got
I'm
you.
not I'm
No,
not
I
saying
got you.
I'm not saying he's going to get to Kobe heights from an NFL perspective. But what I'm saying is when I watch Mac Jones play football, it reminded me of 2002, 2003 Tom Brady. It really just reminds me of how they dealt with him. Play strong defense, have strong running game, and he was very calculating with the ball. That's how Mac Jones plays football. That's how the Patriots play
Okay.
football.
Okay. So, well, I have to see a lot more from him. Number one, to make the comparison personally, but why can't he be like a Matt Castle? Matt Castle did the same thing.
Because Matt Castle's ceiling was
Meaning in that
ev-
system. In that system, quarterbacks have been able to succeed for the most part.
I think Mac Jones, as he develops, I think Mac Jones can take the Patriots further than Matt Castle. Matt Castle did enough to get them. Well, he didn't even do enough to get them into the playoffs because that was a weird year where everybody was like 11. Everybody was like
and
11 and
five.
4, 11 and 5. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I think Mac Jones can push them further. I really do. And if you have to remember, Patriots camp during the summer, they said don't let this whole soft spoken Mac Jones thing fool you at the podium. They said he's a bit maniacal. We've heard that before.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like,
Yeah. I mean,
I understand we're not ready to go there. It's the same thing with Jordan. We're not ready to go there and like crown a new dude like that. I get it. And I'm not saying he's gonna be the new GOAT. I ain't saying he going Tom Brady got 7, he gonna give you 3, 4. I ain't saying all that. I ain't
right.
saying all that. What I'm saying is don't be shocked if he gets you 1. Don't be shocked if Mac Jones can get you 1. And out of this draft class, when we talked about all the physical abilities of all these other quarterbacks coming out of that draft class that had, other than Mac Jones, the least athletic guy, the one with the lowest ceiling out of everybody, is turning out to be
Oh,
the best quarterback
no,
out of
yeah.
that class.
Don't
So
get me wrong. Well,
and I understand it's not a fault of all the quarterbacks because I get some of the situations, i.e., Justin Fields in Chicago, Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars. I get it. But at the
Trey
same
Lance.
token, well, Trey Lance is not playing because they got to get rid of Jimmy G. But I think once he plays,
That's what I'm
he'll
saying.
probably be he'll be. I think he'll be okay with San Francisco. But right now, Mac Jones is looking like the dude. And out of all the other quarterbacks except for Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, because they had no choice, Mac Jones was able to beat out the veterans on the team to be a starter.
I got you. And I don't want to discredit wins. Now the Bills beating the Bills is huge,
It's a quality win.
Definitely.
and they play again soon. Um, but that wasn't necessarily a reflection of Matt Jones. I'm looking at their wins.
Oh no,
In my opinion,
that's why I'm
they're only
crediting Bill Belichick. I'm really crediting Bill Belichick.
they're only credible win in my well, not only credible. The Chargers win was big. Now I'm looking forward to them playing the Colts uh, Saturday.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I don't.
interesting.
the 18th, December 18th. That's gonna
But
be.
I don't.
Let me see what he does then, because
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
but I agree with Steve because the Colts defense is something different. They get a lot of turnovers. The defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus is our former linebackers coach. I I truly um I would like to see that. I like that matchup.
yeah, I want to see. I mean, beating the Falcons, whooping the Panthers, whooping the Jets. Like I need to see now. The Bills win. It's a big win. I want to see Mac Jones because they're saying he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I want to see him.
He probably is.
I'm looking forward to that Colts game.
He probably is. But even if he has a bad game, he's probably still going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
No, for sure.
What other
No,
offensive rookies doing? One, he plays quarterback position, so he's
right, right,
already
right,
favored by that. And then
right,
two, he has a winning record. So I mean,
right. I'm sure he's going to get it. But I
yeah.
want. But as far as excelling and being, um, you know, this dominant rookie QB, I want to see. I want to see how that plays out a little bit. I know he's going to get the award, but I want to see what he does against like good teams. We'll
Do
see what he
y'all?
does.
Uh huh.
We know what the defense is going to play.
Do y'all think that the Patriots can get to the Super Bowl this season?
No.
Now,
However,
think about it first, Brandon. Think about the AFC
not
landscape. Think about the AFC landscape, Brandon. Don't make that no shouldn't be that definitive.
That's why I
It should
said
not be that definitive.
yeah,
You
that's
my only problem, this is my
Brandon.
only
No,
problem.
yeah.
Look, okay. I got two things.
Okay,
One, it's hard for rookie quarterbacks to get to the Super Bowl.
I understand.
Number two, though, I will say the yes part, the no in me is the rookie quarterback. The yes in me is the fact that Belichick, his whole career, it's been such a great schemer. He created a 2-4-5 against the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. He gave the blueprint to beat the greatest show on turf. He gave the blueprint to shut down the Rams offense under Jared Goff. And now he does this old school Packers power sweep against the Buffalo Bills in 20 feet of snow, winds blowing 75 miles an hour. So I'll give him that. So there's a no and a yes in me, but I'll lean a little bit more towards no because it's just hard for rookie quarterbacks to get into the Super Bowl. I understand the AFC landscape. I really do.
um,
But go
now
ahead.
that now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to agree with. I think I have to agree with you, Brandon, because I get they're 9-4. Get they have a good record, the best record in the AFC right now. But I'm thinking about if their defense happens to have an off day, whatever the case may be, against a high scoring offense. I don't know if Matt Jones can keep up with that. I mean, you're talking about keeping up with, let's say, if they, if um, Joe Burrow is having a day, if Pat Mahomes is having a day, if Herbert's having a
Ooh.
day, if Josh Allen is on, we know they just lost, but can can he keep up with them?
Okay. And that's another thing too. Are you really expecting the Patriots defense to have an off day with Belichick running that defense? I mean, that's the most disciplined defense in the
In the
last
in
20
the
in the last 22 years in NFL history. Um, and also they came up with the blueprint to shut down Kansas City offense. They did an AFC Championship game a few years ago.
Well, when I say off day, I mean let me change that. Let me switch from off day because yes, they have had off days against the Saints. We put up 35 on them,
No,
so
yes, we
the
did. Not
defense isn't impeccable. I'm saying if their defense isn't playing as great as some may expect them to, can Mac Jones and that offense keep up with some of these high-powered offenses?
no.
I don't have the answer to that. I haven't seen enough from him yet. He honestly has not impressed me yet. So
well, I'm looking at some of these numbers here from Mac Jones, and to be quite honest, I'm actually a bit impressed because they're not gaudy, but he's had a few. Not even I can't even say a couple. He's had a few 3 bills in yards, multi touchdowns. I think if you're asking him, I don't think he would be the reason that they don't keep up. I feel like it would be more so the team that's around him the receivers and such that would keep them from keeping up. But him, when the bell was asked, when the call was made for Mac Jones to deliver, he delivered. I'm
Oh yeah,
looking at
he's doing this thing for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm I mean I'm looking at some of these scores and some of these games and what Mac Jones did, and they've put the ball in his hands to kind of do it. Now early on they weren't doing it, but as the season kept going, and I'm looking at these numbers, slowly but surely he started progressing more and more and more. So
I
I
get.
mean,
I
listen, man, I'm not saying he's gonna be all world. I'm just saying
I
that
got you. I got you.
the only team in the AFC right
It's been
now
against bad teams
that
though, man. It's been against
listen,
bad teams, man.
he's had the losses against the teams that you would consider good teams were all close. Like it weren't, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bucks, it was 19-17. They lost to y'all by like what a touchdown and a point. They the only one that was like bad was the Saints game, and that was week 3. So what I'm saying is, I'm not the only team that right now, based on what I've seen, been going on that would scare me with them is maybe the Bills because I just can't see them having that kind of performance again,
Right.
And that kind of
and
weather again.
like in this bad weather game that they had,
Man, the Bills
and
kind of just
the Chiefs.
yeah. Or
That's
if
really that's really the
or
only
if,
ones that scare me.
or if the Chargers get in there, which it looks like they may. Um,
Mm.
the Bills, man, they lose a lot of big games, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know
It,
what it is,
well,
man.
it is a young team. I think people also got to remember it's still a young squad, and sometimes you just kind of got to go through the growing pains. It's the same way I feel about Cleveland. That's why I don't understand why Cleveland fans acting the way they acting. I'm like, your team is still young, and for them to even be relevant right now, you need to count your blessings. Because for them to even be relevant as they are, so
I don't think Buffalo's that young, man. I mean, Josh Allen, Zach
Singletary.
Moss, yeah, yeah,
I mean, the
but
receiving core ain't young. You know,
right.
No, not at all.
Stephon been around for a while. Beasley been around for a
I
while.
mean, they're all
Definitely
everyone.
Beasley.
They're
Emmanuel
And Sanders.
Emmanuel
Yep.
Sanders been around for a while. You know,
they're yeah, their core is under 30, even on the defensive side.
right?
But they're pretty much in their prime. I mean, they're
I think with this season with the Bills, I think they just got really comfortable with how successful they were building, and they just grew some contentment. So I think they'll snap out of that and be ready to go next season. But like I said, for the
I hope
Patriots,
so.
man, I can see the Patriots really getting to the AFC Championship. No one on the AFC side scares me enough to say they could lose in like the second round.
I agree.
I really, and the only reason why I say AFC Championship because at some point they got to deal with the Chiefs, and I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine Andy Reid and them losing to Mac Jones.
Do you mean a Pat Mahomes led Chiefs?
Hey man, hey man, I said I could be wrong, man. I said I
I know.
could take that.
I'm gonna leave you alone, man.
I said I could be wrong. Look, hey, look, good job, Patrick Mahomes. Like, appreciate it. I understand. You are the guy. My bad. My bad. My bad. Maybe you were still in the nostalgia of being a new father, so you were just kind of enjoying life a little heavier. I get it. So yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. But the Chiefs are the only team that like give me any kind of cause to pause as far as for the Patriots, man. But they doing work, man. They doing work. I just want to. I'm only touching on this for a second. If y'all want to give y'all opinions on this too, feel free. But I'm literally only touching on this team for a second because this is something that really has to be talked about during the all season with this team. The New York Jets.
Okay.
The New York Jets lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 33-18. Zach Wilson was 23 of 38 for 226, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Lost to Gardner Minshew, who was 20 of 25 for 242 and 2 touchdowns. Let me say this with the Jets. The Jets need to have a hard look at Coach Salah, which I hate to say it, but with Coach Salah and also with Zach Wilson. And the reason why is, and I would say more so Zach Wilson, because you guys were in a position where you could have taken Justin Fields, you could have taken Mac Jones, you could have taken Trey Lance. You had options, and you went with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson to me is the worst of the bunch, and Trey Lance is on the bench, and he's
Right.
still the worst of the bunch. Like that's how bad Zach Wilson has looked
Yeah.
with the Jets. If I'm trying to give him a pass because I know the Jets are they're really going from scratch. So I'm trying to give them a pass on that regard. I'm trying to give him a pass
Hmm.
because they're really going from scratch. But that kid Elijah Moore is a beast receiver. If he was on
Yes, he
another
is.
team,
Yes, he
he'd
is.
probably be offensive rookie of the year. He's a beast receiver. And I know they just lost Corey Davis.
Yep.
They don't have a consistent run game. I get all of that. Still got to patch it off. So there's a lot of things where it would say, okay, Zach Wilson, I'm not going to harp on you too badly. But when I feel like when you're a team like that, you need to draft a quarterback that gives you some kind of chance to win a game, some kind of chance to say, hey, watch this superstar talent go
Hmm.
and just give us time to build around this superstar talent.
Hmm.
When I watch the Jets football team, I'm like, okay, y'all have a lot of rebuilding to do, but I still have questions about your quarterback as well. Like I still don't know if he's your guy. And that would be a colossal failure if Zach Wilson is not it. That is a colossal failure for the Jets.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where you're gonna look as far as a QB because no free agent's gonna want that job because y'all ain't got no talent over there. And you try and say we're gonna draft the QB again. How many times are gonna go through this? Y'all thought y'all had it with Mark Sanchez? No. Y'all thought y'all had it
Man,
with Geno Smith? No. Y'all thought y'all had it with
Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold? No. So
yeah.
when is it gonna happen? Like in my recollection, the most relevant quarterback I could think of is Chad Pennington.
Look, and you're right. And the thing is, I don't know what it is about the Jets. First of all, that's one thing that I don't even watch. I don't even watch Jets football. I don't
It's a
even
hard watch. It's a
to
hard
be
watch.
honest. To be honest, and I know some of the fans may say something. I kind of forget about them to be completely honest.
Hey,
But
you
I mean,
realize they're the team that everybody writes as like, oh, that's like almost a guaranteed win. Like
yeah.
that, they're that team. It's not even the Lions. Like the Lions at least put up a fight.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I watch a lot of Lions games because they're gonna play you close. They're gonna play tough, and they have exciting players to watch. Man,
Yeah,
on both sides of the
on both
ball.
sides of the ball.
Yes, I'm like, cool thing about the Jets, man. I guess their new colorway uniforms. No, but you think if you think about the Jets organization, I mean, it's just a problem when like they've kind of made it known that they're not going to invest around all these rookie quarterbacks that they're bringing in. They're not going to bring in a dedicated quarterback coach or QB guru or strong OC to help develop this quarterback. It's bad when you're going to hire the man's or not college quarterback, or quarterback coach from college. Why don't you just
Right.
hire someone with NFL experience? There are a lot of coaches out here that are at home, that can help develop this guy. That you guys should already have in place when you draft him. It's lazy. Oh, we're gonna draft you, and yeah, yeah, you work with him, right? Okay, yeah. Well, come to the organization too. Come on, man. That's lazy, man. That's lazy.
I listen. I agree with you. I think it's lazy. I think they don't do enough research. I think that their scouting department is terrible. You have players that are leaving the Jets that are having more success outside of your organization than in. Y'all had Leonard Williams looking almost like a bust. He's doing great for the Giants right now.
Sure
Right.
is.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Robbie
it
Anderson.
Robbie Anderson looking great for Carolina right now. So these are things, and y'all was making it seem like he was a one trick pony. And so when I see the first of all, the mistake really is you letting Adam Gase have his way with your team for so long. That was really the damning effect. Y'all let him Todd Bowles for and this is the thing that upsets me. I'm trying not to go here, but it really does upset me. Todd Bowles, say what you want. Say what you want about Todd Bowles as a head coach and all that. The Jets were competitive. You wanted to watch it. They played hard for him. I just feel like the front office did not invest. They didn't have a good GM that brought in good players. Todd Bowles really was like, I'm doing the best with what you give me. And you bring in Adam Gase, who already destroyed Miami because Miami was on the cusp before Adam Gase got there. He's like a dang virus. He was on the cusp before Adam Gase got there, and he damaged that. But y'all bring him over, and thinking, oh yeah, the Jets are going to do so great, and then he just puts them into the pit. Like there's a reason why Adam Gase is he still a coordinator? Where is he? Where's Adam Gase now? He's a
Adam,
coordinator.
Adam Gase is not hired right now. He's available for anybody, pro, semi-pro,
Where
in
was he? Where
Canada.
was he at? He was a coordinator. Was it the Seahawks last year?
No, nope. Hold on, give me 1 second.
There go the encyclopedia. He's on it. So I'm just like, now you give Robert Saleh his first head coaching position, has to take this franchise that's been in a dumpster fire for as long as I can remember, and take a quarterback that you probably really didn't even want in Zach Wilson. So I don't know. I'm just when I watch some of the games, I watch some of them, and in my mind, I'm like, if Justin Fields was their quarterback, they'd have a chance. If Trey Lance was their quarterback, they'd have a chance. There's some limitations Zach Wilson has that he cannot lift that team to where they need to go based on his ability.
Yep.
He cannot do it,
When,
and it's
okay,
not his fault.
when Adam Gates got fired, he was not a coordinator anywhere else. Like I said, he's available for anybody in the NFL, Canada, Arena Football League, college, high school, whatever. Pee
Man,
wee.
let me tell you, man. I know Jets fans are missing them some Rex Ryan.
Sure. And he said it on Get Up one time. He was just like, y'all gave me crap. I almost cursed. I remember this is a family friendly podcast. But then he's like, you gave me this crap. You gave me all the crap for what I did, and the coaches that have come after me ain't come close to what I did. I brought y'all to back AFC Championship games
Yeah. What did he
with
what
Mark
did he say?
Sanchez.
What did he say? I think the Jets won a game or two with the other quarterback, Mike. I think Mike White was his name. And they were
Yeah,
comparing him, and Rex Ryan was like, "Don't compare him to me, please. Don't
yeah.
don't compare
It's
this
really it's really
string."
an insult. The
It really
Jets
is.
Jets Rex Ryan, like y'all were relevant. Y'all understand that? Like Jets fans, how relevant y'all were in the AFC. Y'all were at AFC Championship games, like
Back-to-back years.
back
Back
to
to back,
back
back
with
to
Mark
back.
Sanchez, LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Green, all them. That's what y'all was doing. Santonio Holmes was over there at the time.
Bart Scott was the big
Bart Scott,
linebacker.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Revis.
Jim,
Revis.
Le- Jim Leonard at safety.
And the only reason that y'all lost those games was because y'all went against a juggernaut with the Patriots.
Yeah, yeah.
And Rex Ryan is, I think
Still is
he's,
1 year.
I think he's, and the Steelers was the other year. And I think Rex Ryan is still the only coach that has a winning record against Bill. It's either
Probably,
against Bill or against Brady. It's one of the two, or it could be
probably.
both of them. So I'm just like, so for all the crap that people gave Rex Ryan when he was the coach there, yeah, y'all definitely missing him. Y'all missing him, and it's not a shot at Robert Salah, but
Right, right.
for him to be a first time head coach and to put him in that situation is definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem, and I really hope. I hate to see quarterbacks just that. It's one thing if you're bad, and then it's one thing if you're bad, and it just seemed like you're more so bad because of the team you're surrounded by. So I feel for Zach Wilson in that regard, but I hope it works out, man. Because Lord, I don't know how much. I mean, if the fact that Joe Namath is still the name ringing through New York is a problem.
That is a big problem.
That's a
That's
big
sad.
problem.
That's sad,
Y'all, do
man.
y'all remember when Joe Namath played football? Wasn't it like Super Bowl 4? Like he old. Like he old, man. He's an old
Fact.
man. We've had a lot of Super Bowls since him. And
Facts.
the Jets can only rest their hat on him.
That's like
I
the
mean, I
Colts had
can't.
to.
I mean, I can't talk too much. I mean, we still reverence Joe Theismann out here. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's
But the thing
insane.
is, but you got to still winning divisions. You know what I'm saying? Like the Jets, man. Like that's like the Colts. Of course,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, never came there. Speaking about Johnny Unitas,
It was speaking about Johnny U before Peyton Manning got there. You know, and Johnny U ain't never played a down in Indianapolis. His statue is still sitting here by the bank. But it's just wild. It's wild to me, man. And I'm just like, man, we gonna see what happened with Jets, man. But I have a few Jets fan friends, and it's miserable for them, man. It's miserable. Let me see. Another game I want to get into because I know we ain't got too much time left. So there's a couple of these. Let's talk about the Ravens. Let's go ahead and talk about these Ravens.
so
Go ahead.
so well, we covered it earlier,
Oh, y'all did. Okay.
but I know Brandon had this burning topic that he needed you on here for. I don't know
Oh,
what
oh
it
yeah.
is.
Okay. Let me hear it, Brandon.
Let's hear what he has to
I
say.
know it's gonna be something shady. Go ahead, Brandon.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
Oh
there are
Lord.
some things that just should not happen in life: death, taxes, and Logan Thomas injury. Let me
Oh,
say this: Logan Thomas is a tight end for the Washington Football Bullets who suffered a hamstring injury some time ago and was on a 3 game injury reserve. Came back and against the Raiders, Yannick took his knees out. Tristan, what are your thoughts on Yannick and Logan Thomas? And are you gonna lose your religion?
I don't have my we in the TV world we call it the scrubber. I don't have my scrubber button, so I'm not gonna say my initial reaction. What my initial reaction was. But if I ever saw Ngakwe, it'd be on site. It would be on site, man. Listen,
Oh,
listen. I don't like dirty plays. I'm not even going to say he was intentionally being dirty. It was more so him just being careless. He was trying to avoid a block. You don't have to take a man out at his knees. They coach that now. You've been coached enough to not have to do that. If you want to shed blocks and all that stuff, I understand that, but you don't have to go at a person's knees. I'm grateful that it's not worse than what I thought, which means that we can get him back at the beginning of the season next year because it wasn't a complete tear. But for us to go against y'all and potentially was going to be fully healthy because Curtis Samuel is back. So for us to have the full offense at our disposal and for that to be gone just like that, yeah, I was very, very, very upset. But like I said, I'm just glad it wasn't a tear. But I was very upset though because we just like you guys, we haven't had our full offense all year. We really haven't. So this would have been the first game where we really saw it in its full force, and it's just unfortunate. And now we just got to look for the other tight ends that are on the roster to step up. But in Ngakwe, man, it's on site, man. It's on site. I mean, I don't like plays like that. You don't go after the person's knees to try to shed a block. To shed a block, it makes no sense. So yeah, it would be on site for me. It'd be on site for real. It really
And
would.
that's
oh
and
man.
and that's coming from the fan of the Washington Football Bullets.
Listen,
Hey,
man.
matter of fact, that's a good team name for y'all anyway. You know, we didn't like it when they went from Washington Bullets to Washington Wizards.
I
Call
yeah,
them
listen.
Washington Football Bullets. There you go.
Y'all know the reason why they did it is because they said that it was promoting violence and all that blah blah blah. But all I know is that the Washington basketball team was killing it as the Bullets, no pun intended. So I mean, that's all I know. But yeah, that Ngakwe didn't have to do that. He's been in the league long enough. It's I mean, Steve, you've played in pro leagues, like you understand. It's just a code. It's a code that's
Yeah,
unspoken.
yeah,
You just don't do that. You don't do that. And you know, I wish Logan Thomas all the best in his speedy recovery. Like I said, I'm so glad that it wasn't a tear because that's what they were afraid of on Sunday. I just wish we would have him for y'all because that definitely would have been something to see because honestly, other than Micah, I don't know who would have been who y'all got that y'all would have assigned to Logan. So that would have
we have
been something to
options.
look at.
We have options. Yes, we do.
Eh,
Uh,
We
eh,
do.
eh.
I'm not just talking. No, I'm not just talking trash. No, seriously, we do.
I'm
Javon Curse, Malik Hooker. Thank you.
Luke Hooker, you put Keelan is already at backer, so we got
You
options.
mean Mr. Achilles Hooker?
Hey,
Hey, look, hold on. Our training staff had got Malik Hooker straight. Okay, that was Indianapolis Colts' fault. This is
all right,
Dallas.
all right,
Get it straight.
Brandon, calm down, man. Trying to trigger you. Don't let it work. Trying to trigger you. He trying to trigger you, man.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
don't let him succeed.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all. You playing the DB and your Achilles is gone and how old you are. But
He's not old.
okay.
He's 26.
Look, he's played for a while.
That's not old.
It's old when you lose an Achilles.
Well, then Landon Collins is old.
I never said he was young. That's why Landon Collins plays the position he plays. That's why he plays the position he plays, man. And remember, I'm the one that wanted him cut, so that ain't gonna work for me. I wanted him
Hey,
cut before the season started.
but guess what? When y'all gave him that $500 million contract, you was doing backflips and front flips and cartwheels and stuff.
No,
Stop trying.
no, I was not. That was not me. That was Vance. That was not me.
That
That
was
was
you.
No, you did.
no.
But, you did like that sign
I
after
like
today.
the signing, but I
That
wasn't
was
doing
After we're really
backflips.
that
happy.
was you, Vance, Jamal, Jamar,
I
Kevin.
like I like the signing. I did not do backflips for it. I like the signing, but I did not do backflips. I did not do backflips for it. That was Vance. I did not do backflips for it because I
Tristan,
watched Landon at the
Tristan,
Giants, man.
Tristan. I watch you run down 95 screaming like a madman. And I'm sitting
It,
telling you, and I was sitting there telling Tristan, you paid this man $900 million, and I could have gotten you four strong
$100
safeties.
million now.
Could have gotten you four strong safeties for that price, and
listen,
they would have been drafted around 6, 7, and a rookie free agent. You know that.
you did say that, but I was
Yes,
not
I
one of the
did.
I was not one of the one with the Landon Collins pom poms, man. It was not me, man. It was Vance. I'm trying to
Yo,
tell you.
look,
I'm trying to
look,
tell you.
look. There's evidence in our group chat that
Hey, we
all
could go.
watch
Hey, we can look through it, man.
all Washington fans were dressed looking like cheerleaders. Okay, all
Hey,
Washington all Washington football bulletin guys fans look like cheerleaders.
hey, man. Hey, listen. Talk to Vance, man. Vance, you still watching, bro? That's you, man. We need. I want Vance on the show too, because I got some stuff to say. With both Vance. Vance be stressing me out. Vance be sounding like these other Washington fans that I be ignoring on here. Um, let's talk. Wait, let me make sure. Let me go down this list before I say this would be our last team to talk about. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm looking at all the rest of these. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, so let's talk about the Ravens, and then we'll close it out. Let's talk about the Ravens and Steelers matchup, and we'll close it out in regards. So the Ravens, the Steelers beat the Baltimore Ravens 23 for 37, 253, one touchdown, one interception for Lamar Jackson. For Big Ben Roethlisberger, 21 to 31 for 236, two touchdowns. Najee Harris, 21 carries, 71 yards. And Lamar Jackson, 8 carries for 55 yards, both respectively leading their teams. Let's talk about the play that man. I wish Blue was actually on here. Let's talk about the play that was heard around the world, basically, in regards to the end of the game. So, just to paint the picture for those that didn't see it, so the Ravens are at the red zone. Looked like they were probably at like the 15-yard line, maybe a little less than that. Nah, probably a little less. I think they were at the 10. They call a play, which is basically we call it a rub, where you make the play seem like it's going in the middle. Tight end tries to do a shed block, then squeaks to the outside. Quarterback makes a quick decision to shoot it to the outside. It's supposed to be a touchdown. The play design went beautifully. Andrews did what he was supposed to do. The play made the defense do what they wanted it to do by collapsing in the middle, assuming that Lamar Jackson was going to take the ball up, and literally missed it by a fingernail. I mean, Mark Andrews literally missed the football by a fingernail that would have given them the go-ahead score to win the game. So now the next day, the question was, should have the Ravens just kicked the field goal and gone to overtime? Oh yeah, mind you, they were going for two. So they had scored. There was like 13, 12 seconds left. They were going for two, trying to win the game instead of kicking the field goal, going to overtime. So should they have gone to overtime, or did you like the call and it just they just missed it? But did you like the call? What do you think that the Ravens should have done, Steve, and then Brandon? You can give your opinion.
Let me touch on this a little bit earlier, but you don't leave points on the board. I get it. It's a rivalry. There's ego involved. You want to really stick it to them or whatever the case may be, but you don't leave points on the board, man. And people are saying, oh well, the way the game was going, the Steelers would have got the ball in overtime and went straight down the field. How do you know? How do you know? I'm kicking them going to overtime. You don't know what could happen. And looking at how they played against the Lions in overtime, if I'm the Ravens, I'm feeling very comfortable in going to overtime against them. They left points on the board, and didn't work out for them this time.
What do you think, Brandon?
Man, I'm going for that gamble. I'm trying to beat them. I'm trying to get that victory so we can move on to the next game. But TJ Watt did a good job of shutting down that play.
Man, defense player of the year.
Maybe. But
we'll make sure I'm looking at the right window for my viewers. What you mean?
Don't get Brandon. Don't get Brandon going.
What you mean?
Hold on.
Who else?
Let's talk about that next.
Hold on. No. Okay. Matter of fact. Yeah. Next show, I'm gonna tell Tristan.
You know where he going with it.
Who's gonna be?
I'm not mad at him.
No, I'm gonna tell Tristan. No. Don't say nothing, Steve. Steve, don't say nothing at all. Please don't say nothing at all. And after.
Y'all do realize he leads the league in sacks and he missed 2 games, right?
Steve, don't say nothing. Don't say a word. Don't say a word.
What? Who
Next
else?
show.
Who else is defensive player of the year out here?
Hey, look.
I know y'all ain't saying Michael Parsons deserved both the awards. I already said Rookie of the Year for him. I know y'all ain't saying he needed to get both of them.
I'm not saying nothing. Next show, you'll find out.
Brandon, if you come on this show next week and tell me Michael Parsons deserved both, Brandon, listen, that whole show is going to be an argument about that. I promise you. We won't even be able to talk about any other game. If you come on here and tell me Michael Parsons deserves to be Defensive Player of the Year,
next show,
I'll make sure Eric is on. I'm going to make sure Eric is on this thing. Because if you come and tell me, I already said Defensive Rookie. I don't even like to give y'all any accolades. I already said Defensive Rookie of the Year for Michael Parsons.
Next show.
You come on here and you tell me that Michael Parsons deserves to be the Rookie and the Defensive Player of the Year over TJ Watt?
Next show.
Brandon, don't stress me, man. Don't stress me out, Brandon. Like, listen, man. I've given y'all enough props on this show, on other episodes. I've given y'all enough props. Don't come in here and be delusional now. The man missed 2 games and still leads the league in sacks. 2.
Let me see if I can type on here. Hold on.
2 games.
Let me see. Am I better type? Hold on. Give me
We
one
got we
second.
got we got to talk about that. Where Brandon's going with who he's mentioning next show.
Here we go. Let me type it in here. Next
Brandon.
show.
Brandon. I'm trying to tell you, Brandon. Don't stress me out, Brandon. Don't stress
There
me
you go.
out.
There you go. See that right there? Put up on the screen. Put up on the screen.
Listen, I need
There
everybody
you
to
go.
watch. Everybody needs to tune in because I'm telling you right now, if this man says Michael Parsons on this next show, I promise you, we're gonna have a problem. It better be somebody legitimate, Brandon. It better be someone legit that I can be like, okay, I can see your point. It just better not be him. That's all I'm saying. It just better not be him. He's already going to get Rookie of the Year. That's already a mailed, signed, sealed, done.
Next show.
Don't stress me.
Next
Don't
show.
stress me. What were we talking
Next
about now?
show.
We were talking about what? Ravens and Steelers? Good God Almighty! I'm
All
trying
right.
to
So
understand. I'm trying to understand. Let's talk about. Let's finish this out. Let's finish this out. T.J. Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Book it. Book
next
it.
show. Next show.
But go ahead, Brandon. Finish your thought. So you said you would go for the win. You would go for the win.
I'm finished. Go ahead. Your turn.
Listen, Brandon, Steve, you might have to be the moderator for that one, man. Because listen, I already see this is gonna be a battle. I already see this is gonna be a battle next week. I already see it. I already see it.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I
For
really can't wait.
for my thought, I believe that I would have gone for the win as well. I would have gone for two, because we're only complaining because it didn't work out. Like if it had happened and he scored, John Harbaugh looked like a genius. He looked like he got the big kahunas, and really it's been the Ravens' identity. They go for two. They go on fourth down. When you got a weapon like Lamar Jackson that can threat the way he does, you can take a little more chances than other teams can with their players on the field. So it wasn't a bad call, it wasn't a bad idea. It just it just didn't work. Like that's really just I mean, it's how it happens. The ball don't always bounce your way. Like that's just what it was. It didn't pan out. Doesn't mean it was a bad decision. It wasn't like Pete Carroll not giving the ball to beast mode at the damn 3 yard line during the Super Bowl when it was only second down. It wasn't that situation, because that's common sense. Like that's common sense. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, but people could say it's common sense to kick it and go to overtime. I mean, again, like I hear what you're saying. I'm not thinking. I'm not saying it was a bad decision. With who the weapons they have, but if it's a division game,
I mean, it's a division game. It's tight. I get it. I totally get it. I think because of the identity of the Ravens, what they are, what they do, what they've been doing, especially since Lamar Jackson has taken over, it just didn't shock me that they went for it, and he probably do it again. Like that's my whole thing. That's how I feel about it. So because that's their identity, they didn't do anything out of character. And so for me, if you didn't do anything out of character, then I can live with what you did. That's me. That's me. But that's the end of the show because I know we gotta get going. That's the end of the show for today. Tune in to us next week because clearly me and Brandon, the fireworks are gonna be blazing next
I
week.
cannot wait.
Next week's definitely gonna be one for the books because we got a guest coming in and he's gonna bring some fireworks as well.
I really can't wait.
It's gonna be post Washington versus Cowboy game, so we're gonna know the moods of everybody. I mean, if there was an episode that I'm telling y'all shouldn't miss, it's next week. So next week is gonna be it's definitely gonna be entertaining. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Anything you gotta say, Steve? I know Brandon ain't got nothing to say. He just ready for next week.
Next show. That's all. I got my man's back. Next show.
Next show indeed. So
Brandon gonna stay on mute.
it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun time. Again, I'm Tristan. That's Steve. This is Brandon. Like I said, you already see the fireworks coming. So we'll holla at y'all next week, man. Y'all be easy. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. On any podcast streaming service that you use. Be sure to follow us on all the podcasts. Brandon is saluting out. He's ready to go to war. I'm always ready to go to war. Y'all know me, so it's gonna be a good time. We'll catch y'all next week. Y'all be easy.